Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. I want to apologize for things being crazy lately. Everybody probably noticed that Monday's show was supposed to be last Thursday's show. I said this was going to be International Week, and Choo Choo Stu would be on Monday, and Benny Mac from New Zealand would be on Thursday to crown a March Dumbass of the Year. Well, my life's kind of hectic right now, so just bear with me. The Dumbass of the Year for March will be coming up next week. My guest today is back doing a segment for the podcast, as you heard on Monday. He's from Cave Crew Radio, United Kingdom, Great Britain, and England's very own Choo Choo Stu. How you doing?
Hello. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me on the show. It's an honour, I can tell you.
That's good to have you on.
I've been listening to this show for a long, long time, so I'm a fan of the show, and it's really good to be here.
I appreciate that. I'd like to have you on. We can edit this out if this doesn't go well, but but I'd like to have you on once a month to do an extended version of Totally F.U.K.T, where we basically do what we're going to do today, if that sounds good. And if it doesn't, we'll take this part out.
Yeah.
Nobody...
Time permitting, as you know, we've all got hectic lives, but I'd love to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Want to give a quick shout out to Cave Crew Radio. It's a lot of fun. One thing, though, is you wanted them to erect a statue of you in the studio, and they didn't do that. So I erected one here, and if anybody would like to help pay for Stu's erection, go to WeDon'tHaveCookies.com, hit that donate button. It'd go a long way. I'm sure Stu would appreciate you helping pay for his erection.
I'm very much honoured, and look forward to seeing my erection. But it's funny. It's funny because that night when I was on the show, I think I'd been off of it for a few weeks, and behind DK, because I can see him on. We actually do it on YouTube and probably one or two other places as well. But where we're actually on camera and you can see us. And behind DK, the host, was this almost like a curtain that was like covering something up. And so I did mention, like, you know, is that statue of me or something? It's some kind of award or, some kind of memorial to me. And I think it turned out it was something like, I think he's mucking about with a green screen or something, but it didn't look like it had been ironed. So whether he's going to have creases in his background when he does these videos or not, I don't know.
My favorite moment of Cave Crew Radio is when you came on as Choo Choo Stu. That was so damn funny.
It was funny sitting here in London at 2:00 in the morning, dressed as a woman from the waist high. It was good fun. And my children were quite concerned, especially as they were drawn into it by having to put my makeup on. It's not easy being a woman. All of that, putting the eyeliner, the lipstick and all that, and it's a hard job, isn't it, being a woman?
Yeah, they have a lot more to do than we do. They have twice as much underwear. That's just off jump, you know?
We jump in the shower, bit of deodorant, we maybe have a shave, we maybe put a bit of aftershave on, and grab a shirt, grab a pair of jeans. A woman is there, like you're sitting in the car, she's still getting ready.
Yeah, the most we really have to do is shave our face. And that's exactly. If you want to.
If you want to, yeah. Do you know what? Personally, I like a woman with little makeup on, slight, subtle.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm way more into the natural look than the whole painted up face.
Like plastered on. They've spent 4 hours like putting this stuff on, and it probably takes them they've probably got to like bathe their face for a couple of hours just to sort of almost like a sort of roasting tin, just to get all of that layers off.
Yeah, and the worst part is you can't touch them where they bitch about it, or you get it all over yourself, and that's no good either.
Yeah, makeup. I think they're very overrated.
Yeah.
Of course, unless they really need it. I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and she is very much into makeup, eyelashes. We don't let her go out with it all on, I must add, but eyelashes, makeup, the nails. She wants me to pay £25 to go and get her nails done.
Damn.
To have her lovely, natural 12-year-old nails scraped back to the bare minimum so they can glue something fake on. What's all that about?
I don't know, because my little girl, she wants to go get her nails done every so often, and we just make it to where it's for her birthday or some kind of a special thing.
Yeah.
And especially for a little kid, man, it just seems like a lot of money to get their nails done.
I've just been looking through my daughter's Instagram, which is too young to have, and actually today I closed it down. But the girls there, the 13-year-old girls, I'm looking through all these posts, and you wouldn't be able to tell a 13-year-old girl or a 12-year-old girl, in my case, from a 23-year-old woman, because they Photoshop themselves with these apps and stuff.
I've heard of people doing that where they can actually morph things in the picture. So if they want a bigger breasts or something, they can actually just morph that out. I was watching a show, some reality show, and somebody was talking about how some girl was photoshopping her pictures, and they said that if you look behind her, whatever was behind her where she made her boobs bigger, you can see it's warped and stuff. And that never occurred to me before, but they're doing some crazy shit out there, man.
Yeah, it's very scary. And I think these girls are, especially these 12, 13-year-old girls, they're under so much pressure to do it.
Yeah,
in my daughter's case, she's a beautiful little girl who looks lovely natural and doesn't need a spot of makeup. Keep it save the makeup until you really need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think it's just one of those things where when you're a little kid, you really, really want to grow up. And at our age, we have the hindsight where it's like, man, just appreciate everything you got right now.
But that breast enhancer app, if you could forward that on to Choo Choo Stu, because she would love that.
I'll do that. One thing I want to make sure I ask you about, what does it mean when I say this Saturday? Because we had a guest on, it was last Monday's episode. They said that they were confused about what day they were supposed to be there, because in my messages, I said this Saturday, and they claim, due to their British upbringing, even though they were raised in California, their parents are from the UK, they said that it means next Saturday to British people. And I actually, if you go back and listen, I called him out on the show and told him I was going to talk to you about this.
Yeah, no, I did listen. I listened to most of the shows, if not all of them. And I did hear that, and I started even talking to myself, and I was going, this Saturday, next Saturday. But it is a confusing thing, and I don't know if that's in every sort of English-speaking country. But when you say, if it's Tuesday, and you say, yeah, I'll see you next Saturday. Now, that's the confusion when they say next Saturday rather than this Saturday, because if it's Tuesday, you say, I'll see you next Saturday, and you say to yourself, and I did say this to my wife actually when she had mentioned something, and I said, so next Saturday, is that this Saturday or the one after? I think that's where it gets more confusing.
Yeah, I see your point there, but it seems like it's pretty obvious that, I mean, the most, God, now I don't know how to say it any clearer than this Saturday.
I don't think I've missed an appointment by going this Saturday instead of next Saturday, or vice versa.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he was just making an excuse, but what he said sounds like bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. I was that was on the tip of my tongue as well, actually.
Now, I do want to stop right there and say he was a great guest. I really enjoyed it. I hope to have him back. I don't want him to get upset. It didn't sound like a valid reason. But I do have a question for you from one of my guests. I forget who it was. Looking back on it, because I think this is our third attempt at this show.
Yeah.
Like I said, guys, my life's been hectic lately, and for whatever reason, the last couple of shows have just been very hard to get off the ground. So I apologize to the listeners and my guests, but I forget who asked this. They want to know, why is the Queen on Canadian money?
All right. Yeah. I should have looked this up, really. But the Queen is the Queen reigns over many countries. As far as I remember, like Australia, New Zealand, Canada. She is a queen of many countries, so that is probably the reason why. She is their reigning queen, as far as I'm aware.
I didn't even know she was on there, to be honest with you, but I don't see a lot of Canadian currency, so.
No, me neither, to be honest.
Yeah, that question was kind of out of left field. I forget who asked, but I told him next time that I talked to you, I would ask you on the show. So hopefully whoever asked that question is listening, and they.
And I actually wrote a song for our Queen's Diamond Jubilee a couple of years back, and part of that song was the countries that she reigned in. Part of the lyrics. And I think it was Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Canada, they fly. The Union Jack flag, they wave it up high. That was a couple of lines of my song.
Do you still have that song?
I do, yeah.
Can you send it to me, and I can use it as? I
can send it to you. It was a comedy song, an actual comedy song. Most of the songs that I've ever done are laughable, but this was an actual comedy song that we was doing probably for cancer research. That was our sort of chosen charity, that a group of friends that called ourselves musicians we've done a few charity records.
Okay. If you're listening, check the show notes. We'll have that song as as bonus content. So go in the show notes, look for that. It'll have a little download button. I'm looking forward to hearing that song, man. Sounds pretty cool.
I went through a stage in my life where I was playing music quite a lot, and I was writing quite a lot, but most of the songs I recorded this. I wrote this song. I think it started out as a Jubilee song, and then I changed the lyrics and done it into the Royal Wedding Song when William got married. It's basically quite a versatile song. Any occasion, I can change the lyrics.
That sounds pretty helpful.
Yeah, I think I recorded 3 songs in the studio over a couple of years. Like, we just went in the studio once in a while, and 2 of those songs I've recorded at least twice, maybe 3 times, with different lyrics to suit the occasion.
You'll have to make a 4th one about the podcast. We can use that as the opening song from now.
Yeah.
I do really want to change the intro song so bad. I've got to get on that. I've been saying that for a long time. That was actually the intro song for my old podcast, which has been forever ago.
So you've been very lazy there.
Very much, yeah. I even looked up a few songs and had a couple in mind, but just haven't got around to it. So I'll have to get on that real soon.
So you need to put out a competition for your listeners to come up with an intro song for you.
Yeah, I like that. 30 seconds or less. I think that's about the only rules I can throw on that. I forget who it is. It might be Stitcher. I forget who it is now. But they make sure that you only have a certain amount of intro song on your show. Yeah. I think 30 seconds or less will cover that. It might be 20, but I don't give a shit. We'll put it out at 30 if you got
all those talented musicians out there that are just waiting for their big break. Now's your chance.
Yeah. I was joking with somebody the other day about...
You won't be getting paid for it.
I was joking with somebody about this very topic, where whoever wins the competition, I'll send you an email and you send me $150. And that's going to be the new song. So you have to pay me if you win.
And you can have a free subscription, lifetime subscription to this show.
Yeah. You just have to download iTunes. God, that would be so messed up.
But seriously, a lot of people would love to do that.
I would love to have that competition. I think it would be fun. I wonder when a cutoff should be.
You've got to give them a few weeks to come up with it, and maybe then it depends how many people apply to be in this contest. It's like, and you're going to need a panel of judges.
Yeah, I have actually thought about doing this. So if anybody wants to do it, the cutoff is June 9th. That's my birthday, and that'll inspire me to actually get my ass in gear and change this damn song.
So what is the What's the detail in this competition? What are you after?
I guess if you're listening to the show, whatever kind of music you think embodies the show. So it's your interpretation. We'll put it to that because I don't want to put too many limits on people. So if you listen to this show and for whatever reason you get a really heavy reggae vibe from me, then send me a reggae song.
Put your own interpretation on it.
Yeah. If you want, send me some fancy Christian choir.
Yeah,
anything
or
you
a
want
nice
to do.
ballad.
Yeah. You can even do something where like Jimi Hendrix had his guitar singing the national anthem. It can be an instrumental. We'll see what happens. I really hope somebody sends in a reggae song, but I think that would be confusing to future listeners.
Yeah. People download the show for the first time, think, what the hell is this going to be about?
And then they hear me.
The music has got to have some kind of direction. It's got to direct the listener some way or another, possibly.
Yeah, and including something with the podcast name and the host name, which is me, would probably be helpful too. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, I found this pretty interesting. There was a swearing ban going on over there. I don't know if I'm saying this right. It's
Rochdale.
Yeah. I was very surprised to hear that. It also included banning begging, which would destroy my sex life just completely. Loitering, antisocial parking, playing loud music, loudly revving car engines, street drinking, which sounds kind of like a competition, unauthorized charity collection, and skateboarding, in addition to barring people under the age of 18 from the town center between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m.
Doesn't that sound like just a lovely place that you want to go and visit?
Yeah. It sounds like a very strict homeowner association.
You can just imagine the holiday brochure, can't you?
There will be no
Welcome to Rochdale. It's very quiet after 10 p.m. To be honest, right, I've got a stereotypical image of Rochdale. I've never been there, but it's somewhere up north. It's what we call in London north of Watford. So anywhere past north of Watford is far away. I just imagine the place is probably, there's quite a bit of unemployment there. There's a lot of crime. I can just see it now. There's a lot of foul-mouthed single parents and a lot of foul-mouthed kids, roaming the streets it's a sad situation, isn't it?
Yeah. Really.
That's sort of replicated, throughout the country, if not the world, where you just get these maybe deprived areas, a lot of drugs and unemployment and crime all go hand in hand. And the swearing must stop in Rochdale. It's disgusting. You're a disgrace to the United Kingdom.
Now, you guys are allowed to walk around drinking with open containers. Is that right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can crack open a can.
I've just never heard the term street drinking. That, I don't know, it sounds like some rap lyrics.
I think there's a fine line between street drinking and walking along sipping on a bottle of beer, but it doesn't look nice, does it? Hey.
Yeah, especially the bigger that bottle of beer is. Once you get from a bottle of beer to a 40, that's when the change really starts.
I drive the trains on the London Underground, and one of my biggest hates is seeing people drinking on the train. Now, we've got bars all over London, and they're open late these days. There's pubs at the station when you get on before you get on the train. If you really need a drink, go in the pub. You don't need to bring a bottle of Lambrusco. I don't know if you have that over there.
No. Well, I don't know. I haven't.
A bottle of cheap wine or miniature bottles of whiskey or a 4-pack of cans of beer. You don't need to bring it on the train. It's not a nice place to drink. It's not a nice environment to be drinking. So don't do it. Do you get that over there, drinking on trains and public transport?
No, over here you're not allowed. Well, at least in the state that I'm in, you're not allowed to have an open container. So
At all.
No.
And do people actually respect that?
For the most part. And like I said, that's where I live. It might be different other places.
A previous mayor of London decided to do an outright ban of drinking alcohol on the underground. I think it was on all public transport in London. And as soon as they announced it, someone organised a mass party on the trains. So it was like the last night that you could drink on the London Underground trains. and the whole network was just bombarded with people having parties. People would bring their stereo systems onto the carriage, and each carriage had their own party with obviously like just loads and loads of beer and whatever else they brought. But since then, since the ban has come in, I think people are drinking more and more. No one pays any attention to it whatsoever.
So they had a huge party and then nothing really changed except for it got worse.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like they had so much fun at the party they converted people to train drink.
Yeah. I mean, why not? You know, I don't think it makes a lot of difference in the scheme of things apart from the litter. But come on, man. If you were going out to party, have a drink in the pub before you get on the train. Have a drink when you get off the train. But you don't need a drink on the train, do you?
It does seem like a very odd place to be drinking.
Yeah, and it's not nice, you know. People sitting there eating kebabs and their burgers and chips, and there's like the seats of our trains have got more bodily fluids on it than anywhere. If there's a fluid from the body, it's going to be on our seats.
That's a
fetal matter to anything you can imagine.
That sounds like a commercial.
Come to London.
There's fecal matter everywhere.
There's fetal matter on the seats.
Have you been to Club 28?
I haven't. Should I have been?
You should, and then send pictures, and we'll put them on the Facebook group. It's the world's smallest mobile nightclub, and it was started by two men in England. The entire thing measures 6 feet high, 6'7" high, and it's 3 feet wide and 5 feet deep.
Wow. Tickets only, is it?
The thing that really gets me is there are two DJs who perform in the club. Apparently that's part of the requirement of getting the world record. So as soon as you walk in, there's two other people.
Yeah. And as soon as you walk in, it's full up, yeah?
Yeah. You're at capacity.
So you need to get there early.
Yeah, it's very exclusive.
It sounds like someone has just converted their van. Well, probably not even converted it. They've just said, yeah, this is a nightclub. It's probably just got a sign on the outside.
It looks like a very big box with a door you can't even walk through comfortably. It looks like the door stops about where your shoulders start.
Does it say no swearing on the sign outside? It's not in Rochdale, is it?
No, let's see where this is. Well, it's a mobile club, so I guess it could be there. It's got a lot of pink and very bright blue, and the best part is they have a velvet rope in front of the club, so you have to be granted admission.
It's classy then, shoes only, no trainers.
I would like to see a bouncer in the front just choosing who gets to go in next, like it's some exclusive thing. We have too many men in here. We need a woman.
Well, if it's in London, I'll go and check it out for you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I could do it almost live, totally from the UK.
Oh, never mind. I guess it's in Rotherham. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Rotherham.
Okay.
That's next door to Rochdale.
I actually thought it said Rochdale for a second.
Rotherham, yeah. It's probably next door to Rochdale, I would imagine. They've probably got like the world's smallest brothel next door to it as well.
That would be great. It's just a broom closet.
With two doors, one at the front, one at the back, and it's just like a line of people waiting to go in. And a swearing prostitute laying there.
Yeah. That would be so great. We should start that. I've always wanted to go over to the UK. I think that would be so much fun. We'll start the world's smallest brothel.
And a mobile brothel.
Yeah.
So it goes around. I don't know if you have an ice cream van over there.
Actually, I had somebody on the show who owns an ice cream bicycle.
I mean, over here we have an ice cream van, so it's like a smallish van, and they play like these. The van plays a tune out loud, so you know that the ice cream van's in your area. But they could have a similar thing for a brothel.
Yeah, we could play that. I can't think of the name of it, but it's the stereotypical stripper music. But like
with
from
the red
the
light
40s.
flashing on the top. I mean, you'd clad the van in red velvet, maybe a plastic sheet or something over the bed, maybe a red plastic sheet to be a bit more classy.
Yeah.
And that's a great idea. It's a business idea that we should take to the Dragon's Den. I think you call it the Sharks something or other, Shark Tank.
Yeah, the Shark Tank.
That's it. We need to build a business model for this.
Yeah, I like that. And you know what? My friend Kenny Bolin actually knows one of the guys on the Shark Tank. So maybe we can get that going.
There we go.
We'll have to work on this. We'll get our pitch together.
Well, one thing I'm pretty sure of, we can actually sell this model here, there, and everywhere, can't we? We can get a good franchise on that.
That was what I was about to say. We could franchise it out. That would be great. We could just sit back and let everybody else do the work. We can have these things all over the world. We could do
an extension of this podcast. We don't have scabies, or we don't have something or other.
Yeah.
What could they not have? We don't have
STDs.
Yeah, we don't have STDs. Same logo. Just change the words of this news. Whoever's doing this song needs to be able to change the lyrics, or the lyrics for your new competition. Yeah. Yeah,
that's a good point. Because
so when they're in your area, we can play the song, the little red light flashing.
We're also going to start our business. We only have hot dogs, so you got to make sure that the theme song fits that too. Just in case we do that, and we want to run commercials to drive Sonic out of business.
I'm surprised you haven't thought about this earlier. You've got such potential with this show.
Oh, real quick. My last guest said that there's a woman in the UK who's trying to get a law changed so she can marry her robot. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. No.
He really generalized it because he said the UK, so I have no idea where it would be over there. He didn't have any other specifics to go on.
He didn't mention Rochdale, did he?
No.
No.
But according the way you make it seem, it could be there.
Listen, if someone wants to marry their robot, let them. And maybe we can have like a virtual reality sort of church ceremony, and everything sort of robotic and virtual about the wedding as well.
I will say that I have married a woman, and marrying a robot sounds much better. So if that's what you want to do, it'll probably be easier for you.
Well, you quite often see these robots in the news, or if you're looking at the right sort of news anyway, that these like, it started off with like a blow-up doll.
Yeah.
Well, these dolls are getting more and more realistic. And I did see in the news that they were making, you had to romance them or something like that.
Yeah, I heard you guys talk about it on Cave Crew, and I talked about it on the last episode too. It was, you had to have foreplay with the doll
before you could get access to it or something like that. Yeah.
I don't think he knows his target demographic.
You had to whisper sweet nothings.
Yeah, I don't think that's what people are looking for.
Maybe the robot was looking for key words.
I don't think anybody's thinking, I I really want to have sex with an inanimate object, but I wish it was just slightly harder than that. And how the hell because I really liked your idea where you have some kind of keyword that you would say and it would just unlock the system and you could do whatever if you didn't feel like, doing the foreplay. But how does it stop you? If you just start having sex with it, what's it going to do? I mean, I guess the only way you can do is get graphic, but if you put your dick in the hole, is there some kind of thing that just pushes you out? or does it just get so tight you have to pull out? Because that might not work either. I think some guys would like that if it just keeps tightening up. What happens?
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of, I don't know, maybe it says, maybe it's got some kind of wet patch sensor on its arse.
It just starts drying up.
And then it comes out with session terminated.
That would be great. It just has some kind of really foul smelling liquid in it, and it just starts seeping out of its asshole until you just give up and quit.
Maybe it asks you, would you like me to sleep in the wet patch, master?
You know what would be really bad is you just decide you're going for it anyway, and it has mace in its eyes, and it just squirts at you. I don't know how the hell you would explain that to anybody if that happened.
Did you say that it has mace in its eyes, or it squirts mace in your eyes?
Well, it would be, the cartridges would be behind its eyes, and it comes out.
Yeah.
We need to get a hold of this engineer. We can make this so much better, and
especially as a mobile project as well.
Yeah, that can be in our brothels. It's all these sex robots.
If the queue gets too long for the real one, you could just put that one next door, drive that up, and you've got your sort of your reality or your virtual reality.
You know what we could do is just program these things so we can make them like kind of like rickshaws where they can just drive themselves around until we find the right spot.
Yeah, and like the little sign on, whether it's it's got a light on. If the red light's on, there's someone in there. If the light's off, then it's vacant. Yeah,
we're going to make some money off of this.
Man, no, it's definitely got some potential there.
Last thing I was going to ask you, as far as things go over on your side of the world, beans and toast. Is that popular over there? I've heard it is.
Now, someone was saying that on a couple of episodes back, wasn't they?
Yeah, I actually had somebody from Canada on that thought it was weird. I never heard of it until I talked to somebody from there. Because they were saying beans and toast, yeah? Yeah.
Like you say macaroni and cheese, yeah?
Yeah.
Because we say macaroni cheese, and we say beans on toast, not beans and toast.
Okay.
Beans on toast is it's a staple diet in Rochdale. But beans on toast is, do you have Heinz beans over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, beans on toast you can't beat. It's a any time of day meal. You got to have a big crusty bit of bread that's toasted, and you pour the beans over, and half the bread goes soggy with the juice from the baked beans, and half of it stays crunchy. And if you're really feeling, you want something special, some grated cheese on top and melt it under the grill.
So the bread isn't just your typical white sliced bread. It's thicker than that.
Generally it is, but being an ex-chef, I have to make it special.
I got you.
It's a lovely dish. It's one of the basics. Anyone can afford it. Costs you, next to nothing to make.
Okay, I'll have to try that, and I'll let you know what I think next time I have you back on.
I've got to have it.
Yeah, everybody says it's really good. It's one of those things that I've never even heard of it till I talked to somebody over there. And then when I heard the people from Canada that were just loving it too, it really made me wonder what's going on, because I haven't heard of that anywhere over here.
It's fantastic as well. And it's one of those things that you can knock up when you come back from the pub. Students live on baked beans, so everyone's got baked beans, everyone's got a bit of bread hanging about, and it's a 2-minute meal.
And that's our food truck idea to go along with the mobile brothel.
So we can have the virtual reality on the go robot hooker. Yeah, we'll have the beans on toast wagon waiting at the end of the line.
I like that. It's an additional $1 charge, or we could try. Do you think we could get $2.50 out of it, or is that too much? Yeah,
I think you could charge £5.
£5?
£5 for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll include that in the price, and as soon as they walk out the back door, you got something to walk away with.
That could maybe just put that in on the 5-star package.
Yeah.
Cheese on top extra. Oh, man.
Last thing we're going to get into is this week's Dumbass of the Year. I stumbled ass backwards into this one. It's actually a story that we covered on the show that came out Monday. It's the mayor of San Diego, who was quoted in the story about a brewery who's using recycled water. Part of his quote said that there's no better way to show how pure the water is than having it in the beer, which I'm paraphrasing that, but I thought that was a pretty stupid thing to say.
Now, when you say recycled water, are you saying like someone has saved the rainwater, or are we talking piss?
No, we're talking somebody took a dump in your toilet and you took that water and took the turd out and boiled it really good and decided to brew your own beer.
So we're talking dark beer.
Yeah. The citizens of San Diego have actually called it tap to toilet.
Yeah.
Which is not very appetizing.
Maybe, the pump that they have at the bar. Mm-hmm. So as they pump it, it could be like a toilet seat. So you just sort of lift the toilet seat up and down and it comes out the bottom. Like a little miniature one.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have that truck along the line. So that's 4 trucks we've got to buy now.
It's a good thing. We can just have you in charge. You're used to being in control of trades. That sounds like this is what this is turning into.
Now that sounds good. Beans on toast. Then we'll have this recycled. Now, I don't think it's going to sell, do you?
I don't know.
Depending on the price, of course.
Because this is in California, and everybody in California is really big into conserving and recycling and things like that. If there's one place this could take off, it would be there.
I just think they've got to be very, very careful with the name.
Yeah.
Tap to toilet, or I think leave the toilet name out of it. Let's hide that. Let's flower that up a little bit.
Well, this is actually made by a place called Stone Brewery. So it doesn't look like that's going to come into play in their marketing, but that's what the citizens are calling it. It's tap to toilet. And that's...
Yeah.
That's not a good way to start.
Maybe call it porcelain something or other.
Porcelain pale ale.
Yeah. Porcelain pale ale sounds a good idea. Would I drink it? Probably. If I have to admit it, yeah. I would like to hear the description of a beer connoisseur or one of these specialist wine tasting people, I would like to read the review about it,
It's got hints of asparagus.
Yeah, hint of asparagus with, it's got its opportunities there.
Yeah.
And why not?
Well, before we go, you're starting your own podcast. It's going to be called The Podcast Train, which will be a podcast about podcasting. Is that correct?
Well, this train, the train has got many tracks to go on. So it's not just going to be about podcast. It's not going to be about podcasting, period. I want to talk to lots of interesting people. I
just said that because the asshole in the chat room said that the last thing we need is another podcast about podcasting.
No. I may well have the occasional podcaster on there, but I'm going to be looking for people with maybe interesting out there jobs that you don't think of every day. And I want to get people in just to chat, chew the fat. I've got several people lined up, and I don't want to give too much away, but I've got a real life Ghostbuster from London who's going to be coming on. All being well, this is as well. I've got a phone sex line worker coming on. I've got a stuntman. I've got a naturalist, house cleaner, as in that they clean people's houses for a business in the nude. And it goes to the other extreme where I've got a metalhead biking priest.
Ooh.
I'm looking for sort of a few weird and wacky people out there jobs, you know?
Yeah. No, I like that concept. It sounds like a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to check it out.
It's yet to come out, but I'm hoping within the next 6 weeks I'm going to get the ball rolling and have a few episodes under my belt. And at the moment, I'm walking around this train, kicking the tyres, checking everything's in order before I send it on its maiden voyage. Although trains don't really have a voyage, do they? But
that sounds good, man. Speaking of starting podcasts, if you live near the Dayton area, come out, check out the Gem City Comic-Con. I'll be on the podcasting panel answering questions from 1 to 150. That'll be in panel room A. So if you've thought about starting a podcast or you've started a podcast and you just have general questions about, I don't know, file size or whatever you got questions about, stop in. I'd be happy to talk to you. And Monday, my guest will be comedian Mike Canistero, and March's Dumbass of the Year will be crowned on Thursday with me and Benny Mack. I want to thank Choo Choo Stu for coming on, man. It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Thank you as well. But can I ask the next person who's coming on a question?
Yeah.
Even though not meant to know who's coming on. Is that right? Or are they not? I can't remember your format. But you was asking people questions, wasn't you?
Yeah. Let me get that from you as soon as we go off the air. And yeah, because I meant to write that down to get a question from you. If you have any questions or comments, send me an email, jason@wedon'thavecookies.com, or call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail. That's it for today. I'll talk to you guys Monday.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review.
We don't have scabies.